up everyone, hope you're doing alright, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I'd do a cast video showing you the werewolf family that I made for the house that I just posted a speed build of. Well, not just, but it was like last week or something, the werewolf family house. And yeah, I just thought I'd show you the Sims that I made, and I wanted to talk about them because, I don't know, I think they're a nice family. There's something really personal about Sims that you make. For me, like, I find it a bit of a struggle to like put them out there. Sometimes when I've done builds in the past, I've made a family for them, and I find it a little bit of a struggle to be like, here's the Sims that I made, because it's kind of like, I don't know, like, I think Sims themselves, it's very like personal to you, because you tend to like make Sims reflect certain parts of yourself and also people that you know or people that you've met throughout your life. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Maybe some people just make like Sims that I don't know, based on TV shows or something, I don't know. But for me at least, I find it quite a personal thing to share my Sims. So yeah, but anyway, I'm going to talk about the family and just sort of give you a bit of information about them. So this is the Dawson family, and it's made up of Mum Nora, who we're currently making at the minute, her teenage daughter Amiko, and her toddler daughter Molly. And Nora is actually the adoptive mother of her two daughters. She's a very family-oriented Sim. I'll go over her traits and everything. So she is family-oriented. She also loves the outdoors, and she's self-assured. So she knows what she wants in life. She knows what she's about. She's very like confident as a person, and I feel like that would come off to her kids. Like, as a parent, I feel like she would have a lot of confidence in them as well. And she's very sort of, like I said, she's family-oriented. So she's all about her family. She's all about the home life. Her likes and dislikes, she likes gardening and fishing and handiness and cooking, and she's very into the sort of hands-on stuff, and she's quite proud that she's able to be like self-sustaining, and you know, she's got a little vegetable patch at her house which she can live off that. She doesn't necessarily need to go to the shops and buy food. She can fish, you know, she can take care of her family all by herself, and I feel like she takes a lot of pride in that. The one thing she doesn't like is video gaming, and I feel like her and Amiko would come to blows over that a little bit, because Amiko, you know, she's got a laptop, she has a phone, she's a teenager, you know, she might get into video gaming a little bit. So I feel like that would be something that they argue over. Also, Amiko dislikes handiness and, you know, the outdoors basically. She doesn't want to be all hands-on, you know, picking potatoes in the vegetable patch. She wants to be making friends and playing guitar and creating paintings and stuff. So there's like a potential for conflict, but I feel like Nora would be the type of Sim that she just wants what's best for her family, and she's willing to sort of bend her values and the things and her opinions and stuff for the sake of her kids. So she might be one of them parents that's like, oh, you can't sit and play video games all day, it's a nice day, come on, come and help me in garden. Sometimes I feel like she'd be a little bit of a pushover, and she'd just be like, do you know what, go on then if it makes you happy. Yeah, she does a lot for her kids, and she's also built a shed in the back garden. Because both of her daughters are werewolves, there's going to come a time when they transform and they rampage, and it's kind of unavoidable. So I feel like she built that space for them to be able to rampage safely and sort of get out all their anger and their aggression and not hurt themselves and not hurt anyone else. So yeah, and she's also moved to Moonwood Mill with their like well-being in mind. She wants them to meet other werewolf Sims, she wants them to have werewolf friends, she wants to have them surrounded by people like them, so they don't feel like outcasts and they don't feel so different. Because everywhere else, I kind of imagine in the Sims world there wouldn't be werewolves roaming around, even though there will be. If you've installed werewolves, there will be werewolves just in your other like worlds and stuff. But I like to imagine that in terms of the law, they're not actually running around, if that makes any sense. But yeah, that's Nora. I think she's a really pretty Sim. I think the Sim that we started off with was a good like base for her. Sometimes when I make Sims, I do look at pictures of like AI generated people just so that I can get an idea of like people's facial features, and to try and make Sims look different, because sometimes my Sims can end up looking a bit like the same. And I don't want that. I don't want them to all look identical. I like them to look different and diverse, and to come from different backgrounds and cultures and all the rest of it. I don't like when my Sims kind of look identical to each other, and sometimes that's kind of unavoidable, you know. My brain can only think of so many like faces, I guess. So I have to look at like reference pictures. So I feel like the picture that I looked at was good enough. But yeah, anyway, this is Emiko. Emiko is a teenager, as you can probably tell. She's creative, she's hot-headed, and she likes painting and guitar. And like I said, she dislikes handiness and gardening. Like her mum likes those things, but she doesn't. She's not into doing that. And she will get in a bad mood if she's asked to do them. When I was making Emiko, I didn't really know what sort of look I wanted her to have. I knew I wanted to go for like a grungy type look, but some of the hairs that I was clicking through, they just weren't doing it for me. I were going to go for this like wolf cut, shag type haircut, and then give it like a dyed colour, because I did want her to have coloured hair. And then I went on that base game one with like the roots and stuff, where it's like the root colour is one thing and then the length is like something else. And when I put that on her, I thought that suited her like really nice. I like to think that she has dark brown hair naturally, and then she's just like dyed it red and everything. But yeah, she is a werewolf. She's not long since had her first transformation. I feel like she, you know, she's got a lot of issues with the werewolf side of things, but she's coming to terms with it. She's also, you know, she's a teenager, she's going through puberty. There'll be a lot of issues with her for that. So she's quite angry at times. She tends to have like a bit of a strop every now and again. She tends to get her fury up quite a lot and needs to rampage in the basement. But I feel like there's a lot of potential for her. I feel like she also maybe has some sort of resentment towards her birth parents, that, you know, maybe she doesn't know how to talk about that. That might be why she's hot-headed. I don't know. There's a potential for some like little backstory there. I like to leave it a bit open-ended, because I like people, if they're going to download my Sims that I make, I want them to do whatever they want with them. Do you know what I mean? So I like to give a little sprinkle of something, but not fully like fill in all the story for her. But yeah, I quite like how her outfits turned out. I definitely see a lot of myself in this Sim, and I think I like, not projected, is that the right word? Reflected, we'll say reflected a lot of my sort of personality, not personality, but like feelings that I had as a teenager. So, you know, she's hot-headed, she might have some issue with the werewolf thing. For me, I mean, I'm not a werewolf, but there were certain things I had issues with growing up. Going through puberty was a whole like pain in the ass for me. I found it quite traumatic, and even now I find it like, I look back on it and I think, oh my god, how did I get through that? So I think I definitely put some of my own experiences into her, or imagined them. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's different, she's going to get treated different at school, she gets looks about how she's different, and that was kind of the same for me at school. Not so much how I looked, but more so the things that I said. Like, I'd say something weird and people would give me a look as if to be like, oh my god, you're a freak. And do you know what? It's alright being a freak. It's not a bad thing. So yeah, I think Emiko would definitely try to embody that mindset and be a bit like, do you know what? I don't care what people think, you know, eventually. But right now, I think she's in that in-between space. Also for her outfits, I feel like as she's growing, she's changing. Maybe she'd struggle a little bit with the changes that her body's going through, both the werewolf side of things and, you know, changing into like a more feminine body, going from like a child to a teenager and to a young woman. So when we get to her swimwear, I actually put her in a t-shirt and like a pair of shorts rather than like a bikini. I feel like she's kind of adjusting to it, you know, she's experimenting with like wearing tighter clothing, like a formal wear and a party wear. It's kind of like tighter. She's got her legs on show, like that sort of thing. She's getting into it, but she's not fully there yet. Do you know what I mean? She's very in between with everything, which I think is quite normal for a teenager, because you want to dress like how you want to dress. You know, you're becoming an adult and you get to pick what clothes you wear and stuff. But at the same time, that's a lot of responsibility, and it's kind of uncomfortable. Like, you know, what are you allowed to wear? What are you not? You know, what parts of your body do you want to cover? What parts do you want to show? Like, it's a very awkward time, and that was definitely the case for me when I was a teenager. Like, I'd go out in the summer with my friends and I'd be wearing a pair of jeans and a t-shirt, and my friends would all be in like dresses and skirts and shorts, and I'd just be like, no, that's not for me. And I've only really just started to get comfortable with wearing like shorts and stuff. I don't know why, because I don't really feel like too bothered about my body. Like, I'm like neutral on it. But then there's the whole like gender stuff that I'm a bit freaked out about, that I've always been freaked out about. I don't know, I'm turning this voiceover into a bit of a therapy session, aren't I? For Emiko, I feel like she's just in between. She's an awkward teenager, do you know what I mean? She's, you know, she's figuring it out for herself. And then I also wanted to show you her werewolf form, because why not? I went with like a darker colour and then gave her like the bright sort of reddy orange eyes. And then moving on to Molly Dawson, who is Nora's toddler daughter, like I said before. So cute. I love toddlers in The Sims 4, they're so cute. She is a inquisitive toddler. She tends to be quite like angry quite a lot. I don't know if that's toddlers in general, because I haven't played with toddlers for a while. But yeah, she can be quite angry. She tends to have a lot of tantrums. Maybe she needs to work on that. I don't know, but she's also a werewolf, so she can't transform yet. The werewolves, I don't think they can transform until they become toddlers. But she has a few moodlets that happen where she might dream about the moon, or she gets fang pain, which I thought were nice. Also, absolutely had to give her that little wolf onesie for a sleepwear. I always give toddlers 2 sleepwear. Well, I tend to get a lot of my Sims multiple sleepwear because it's kind of weird that they wear the same like pajamas every single night. But I had to give her that werewolf onesie thing, and then I saw it in that like pastel, like kind of rainbow pattern, and I thought that looked really cute, so I gave her that. Also at the end, I go back and change her outfits a little bit. I think there's only 2 that I change. She started off with like greeny kind of colours, and then I went back and changed it to more like pink and purple because her room has kind of got some purpley pinks to it. So I feel like maybe she would like those colours, so I ended up changing that like towards the end. And then I'll show you the full outfits in the screenshots. So we are coming up to the end of the video now. I hope that I talked about them enough. I feel like it's kind of hard to ram it all in there for a cast video because it tends to be quite short, and then each Sim, you know, they have their own outfits, and I don't know whether to talk about the outfits or talk about the personalities, but I guess the outfits speak for themselves. Like, you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to go and let you see the full outfits in screenshot form. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed putting it together. I like doing a cast video every now and again. And if you do want to download The Sims, they'll be on the gallery. They've got skills and they've got relationships with each other, so they're all set to go to play with. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to go. See you later. Bye.